Hi, everyone. Welcome to You're the Operant Power with Gail and
Jane, hi Gail.
Hi, Jane. So today, Jane and I, before we came on live or online, um, we were talking a little bit about suffering, and we're thinking about making this about suffering, but decided not to because that's not something that we want to give life to. It's objectively speaking, it appears that there's many people suffering, but if you've been on this channel for any length of time, you realize that we deal with things subjectively, and which means the suffering is coming from our own thinking, our own perspectives, our own thoughts. So Jane had a scenario that she's going to share with us, um, just quickly to see how we can deal with things. And um, when we get into objective situations where we're actually using our senses, our verbal words in the physical world with people. So what's your scenario, Jane?
Okay, so me and my children I'll do the one the other day. It was pretty big. So we're talking, um, and the funny part was it was a judgment conversation, and I heard it and I went, don't get involved with that. And then I walked past them and I got drawn into it, and I drew myself into it, I should say. And we proceeded to talk about all this judgment. And then my daughter was like, okay, that's you. And you do that thing. So then the whole conversation came. So it was like I experienced the other side of judgment too. And I got involved in this big explanation almost. And then I caught myself. Then I was like, okay, I just want to forgive and forget. So, but um, the the forgive and forget part and how I respond and what I do and how long it takes me and the whole analyzing thing seems to jump in there because that's what we're talking about today. So at that point, instead of, for me, it's like, okay, well, I have to calm my breathing. I have to reframe everything. I have to rewrite everything. I have to like make sure I don't pay attention. Like a lot of things are going through my mind.
Okay.
So in the end, when I get to forgive, that seems to be where I start to remember, oh yeah, all is well. Actually, all is well. There's, this is just a conversation and all the narrative and all that, just whatever, and forgive. So it's simple, but for me, an analyzer, like I analyze everything a lot, or I used to. I'm getting out of that habit. Um, it seems to be at that point, for some reason, forgiveness is maybe like just, it encompasses more of what the feeling is versus any of the narrative, counter narrative, or any rewriting or anything. So you
So
said
it would
to
be
me,
beneficial for you to do it first.
correct.
Right?
So the
Like
whole point,
automatically well, you know what? Before you even get to that, I've been using Harmony, Unity, and Love again.
yeah,
I just have like such marvelous success with it. And I do
okay,
not but think Harmony, Unity, and Love. When I get in, when situations I am either in or witnessing, I can, they're starting to escalate a little bit, or there's disagreements
yes,
or judgments or whatever. Like I'd like, you can still be talking to me, but in my head, I'm like Harmony, Unity, and Love. Harmony.
yeah,
And then I stop engaging. And like within minutes, literally minutes, I have people coming in apologizing for their behavior. When they,
well,
a minute ago, they were
yeah,
really flipping out, angry,
yes,
like angry. And I'm just like Harmony, Unity, and Love. And in this particular case, I actually said it outside. Well, of course, like I said it in verbally. And of course, the eyes just roll then, like whatever. And I wouldn't suggest that you'd say it out loud, but that's kind of expected here of me. But all you have to do is say it inside, and literally a minute later, and the apology is not the norm from this person. It is like, I was like, yeah, for sure. You're forgiven. You were forgiven long ago. Like, thanks.
Right.
Proud of you
Right.
for doing this kind of thing. Right. Um, and that's just how fast it works. Like literally a minute.
Yeah.
So that's something, that's a tool for you to use when you
Yeah.
start feeling things if you get caught up and you start feeling escalation, just if you refocus your mind to, instead of what's being said, the judgments and all the comments out here, just refocus your mind, harmony, unity, and love.
Well, and interestingly, we did that practice and I stopped for some reason. I wasn't doing it for the last couple of weeks or like,
Yeah.
so,
Yeah. Well, it's very easy to go back to sleep, right?
right.
Because this is a lifestyle that is not our norm, in the sense that we have all of these beliefs that are embedded in our energy. And so like when somebody is judging, they're not doing, like they can't help it, because that's unconsciously, that's what we do. When they respond with react or with anger, they can't help it, because that's what is embedded in us. And so we have to be conscious, notice that, and change that reaction, or change the situation as we see it in our head to get a different reaction.
Okay. And
That's moving up
yes.
the
And
ladder then.
okay. And very, very quickly and clearly, since I have been remembering that judgment splits love in two, I used to think that I had to conquer and be the winner of the, what do you call it? Convince the other person of my, so now when I hear
that's
that,
objective living. That's
yes.
objectively.
So now when I hear someone judge something, if it's to do with me or something I love, it immediately comes to mind, judgment splits love in two.
Right.
So when you think about it, now you're farther apart. So you don't want to create any more disharmony in that.
Yeah.
Even in the conversation, I've noticed for me, the hardest thing to do is not to say anything. Literally not say anything. I learned that. It's taken me forever to learn that.
Well, because it's not your norm, right? You're creating a norm.
If you don't say anything, then you can't keep the love split, right? So you're not, because people are looking for that confirmation.
Well, it depends on what you're thinking and what your assumptions are.
Right.
Just going quiet and thinking you're an asshole.
Right.
Then you're not bringing anything together, right? You're still
usually separated. What I'll think if I'm listening to like just a narrative that someone's repeating they heard from the news, for instance, they're basically just telling you what they heard on the top page of their computer, a headline or something like that. I'll usually go, oh yeah. And now it's a weird thing. It's now I hear it, but I don't analyze it and I don't pay attention to it.
So what do you do with it? What do you do with it consciously?
I kind of see it just float away.
Okay, what does that mean to you?
Like it just sort of goes into the flow.
What does that mean to you? Like that's just the visual that you have with it. So what is the meaning behind that for you?
That it doesn't impact all as well. Any story, like it's just it's a story, and it's almost like it goes back into the millions of words, and to me it's just like there's a whole bunch of narratives there, and they come to me, and now instead of trying to figure out what they are and how they're involved with me and just like super getting into it, most of the time I'm just kind of letting it flow. Like especially when someone else is talking, just let them talk and let them kind of go off instead of trying to dominate the conversation. Or like I said, like it was almost like I feel like, because I've been thinking about a lot about conflict and sort of where are these energy places in me, you know, like you said, instead of analyzing it, if it comes, the story can just be all is well, forgive,
Forgive.
forgive,
Yeah.
done.
Yeah. Because you
And
want to, if it's showing up in your reality, then that's telling you it's in your consciousness. So, and I don't know exactly what you feel with this, but one of the things that Neville talked about is guarding your mind.
yes,
If you are hearing that,
yes,
ignoring it doesn't necessarily mean that you've removed it from your consciousness.
no,
You have to like consciously know that that's not true. Everybody is healthy, or everybody is, respectful of others, or whatever the case may be. You want to replace it with something,
yeah,
or else you're keeping it in your consciousness. And if you find that conflict is a regular thing for you, because I wonder sometimes when we think we have a lot of oranges coming up, oh my gosh, all these oranges came up, and then we're cool, and then all these oranges come up. Like, is it the same oranges? Because we didn't deal with sort of flipping our mind in the first place. And so they're
yes,
up again. They're not really, instead of this is throwing numbers around, instead of 1,000 oranges, it seems that it's really just 100 that just.
right,
So
yes,
what I would do when you're in those, forgive like immediately, because that cleans the slate.
yeah,
What do you want? So you're replacing it, you're forgiving. Even you could use the cloud, going by, that's your forgiveness. It's like whatever you attach to that is what it will be. So the cloud, you see the cloud going, and it's forgiveness. And it's not going to go into all of the words of your consciousness because you've changed it now.
So is it a feeling? Like, should you feel like a heart? Like, should it be a heart feeling?
Well, no, for me, I mean, it's just, okay, no, that's not, that that's not how I think. That's not what I believe anymore. That's not what I feel. So I forgive them for showing me that. And all is well. Everyone is healthy in my reality, whatever. And then once I've said it, like that's how it is now, because I've claimed that.
So forgiveness
So the
isn't
feeling
really a
is almost, for
feeling.
me, it's a conviction.
Okay, yeah.
This is how it is because that's what I've said it is.
Okay, because a conviction's different than like the warm, fuzzy feeling you get or like a happy feeling,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. But
So
I probably feel that as well, but that's my focus is more on no, Greg, I said, this is how it is. And this is how it is. Because then when it comes up, no, like this, I said it was like this. So, I've forgiven that. I've surrendered that. Like you don't exist anymore. And
so yeah, so that's good because conviction plays into faith too, because you have faith
very much, yeah,
in your belief that
yeah.
all is well. That
Yeah.
even
And
though
what I'm making it into, what I'm giving my attention to is what I love.
yes.
So attention equal love. So if I'm, forgiving this, and I know that, that person is really healthy. So I've taken my attention away from what I've forgiven because the slate's clean now. That doesn't exist. It's, August 5th at 2:04, and this is how it is now. This person is healthy. And that's my attention. So my love goes into that, and my conviction that I have faith that that's true.
So it's as simple as you can make it, I suppose, is like you said about when you had that, like we talked about the harmony, unity, and love, and immediately the noise stopped. because I actually have been saying harmony, unity, and love, and like not every day, but it's still there, right?
Yeah.
Especially,
Yeah. If you can
um,
make it, the more you do it consciously, then you make it your automatic response.
yes,
Now, for me, because I focused a lot on forgiveness over the last whatever month, 2 months, it's kind of like when I see something I don't like or hear something I don't like, I'm like, no, no, I forgive you.
yeah,
It's like this.
yes,
It's just that's just my automatic response, even for things where I used to react to, get angry or get whatever. You have to understand that your anger, like any kind of reaction that isn't a part of what you want, like that kind of focus, um, is fear. It's coming from fear because you feel like you have no control in some way.
right, right.
In fact, you have full control, but you have to claim it.
Well, and when you claim
To
the
live
inner
from that
control,
place. What's that?
when you claim that inner control, then you don't feel the need to control out there. And that,
That's right.
and so, okay, so that's what I'm experiencing right now with being able not to have an opinion, not to have to convince somebody. We've talked a lot about just doing it in my head. Like I see them calm, I see them engaged, and everything is good and just back to normal. Uh, and before, like there's no way I could have done that. No way. And I I really feel like it's like a daily practice. And
24/7.
like every day you're waking up and you're waking up to a whole new day to do those things rather than looking at I think I think there's this tendency to look at things like there's a beginning and an end. And I think with this, the idea is to see the continuum, because when I think about now, I'm like, I used to think I was a body having an experience, but thinking about it more from like a spirit in a body having an experience and then returning to where it came from, returning to spirit, it explains things kind of in a sense of like temporary, like moment to, so like it almost sets you up that you can think of life more in the now. Like I guess like I'm here and I'm now, I'm not back there, I'm not over there, I'm definitely here. I just woke up today and I have to go about my day in a state that all is well. Like I mean, those are like anchors in, like the kind of anchoring thoughts that I feel like there's a lot going on. There's a lot of different narratives coming at me all the time. I'm around a lot of people. I'm around a lot of,
You feel that?
do I feel?
Is that what you feel?
I just feel like there's a
Feeling
lot.
is what creates. If
Right.
you feel
So,
that's true, then that is going to be true. And it
right,
can be true and true and true and true again and true again.
right.
Is that something that you want to hold on to?
Maybe. I think so. I think I like being around. Like, I think, hmm, I don't know.
Okay. So what you can do, why?
Maybe I'm creating.
You're creating.
So I'm creating it. I'm creating the idea that there's a lot coming at me, a lot of narrative. Okay, so I guess a better way to say it, to look at it, would be just all is well. That I don't have to have that narrative.
Yeah, like why do you think that, and why would you think, and this is, you don't have to do this now, like just for your own self,
Mhm.
why do you think that you don't know if you don't want all of that stuff coming at you? Like why would you? Why wouldn't you? Like what's the benefit? What are you getting from having all of that stuff? Because it is coming at you. And notice you've had some things that you've shared over the past, I guess, on the weekend or earlier in the week or whatever, and you're feeling like you've got so much coming at you. It's not like they're connected. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for
That's a
sure.
feeling. You're just verbalizing now a feeling you've had at some other point that manifested and is now, oh my gosh, I'm feeling this. And it's going to continue.
Right. Yes.
Okay,
yes.
here you go. You know, and
Right.
all kinds of crap coming
So
down.
that's all past. Like I don't have to hold on to that idea at all, really.
No. Well, it's up,
No. Well, no, I
up to
don't.
you. What do you want?
I think I was recreating that idea. You're right. I think so. Because it goes away and comes back when I start paying attention to it. So I just won't pay attention to it.
Pay attention to what?
The idea that there's too much.
Okay, so your life is just easy.
Exactly the way it should be.
Well, you're the one that defines that. What does that mean?
All is well. I'm in control of myself and I know what I'm paying attention to.
So do you want life to be easy?
I don't know. I don't think easy is I don't know. I think I want life to be exciting and adventurous. And
So that could be easy.
pardon?
Fit those things. Now we get into the definition. What does easy mean to you?
Right.
To me, that just means that I get it. I am able to forgive what I need to forgive. I'm able to block what I don't want to hear and change that to what I want. I can always focus. To me, that is easy. I'm not saying that I'm not going to have challenges, but it doesn't matter because I know to forgive what I need to forgive and change to what I need to change to and block what I need to. Like I know that stuff already. To me, that's easy. So you would have to define what easy means to you. And if it means boring, then yeah, it's probably not your best word to use. But it's what you believe to be true, what that word implies for you.
Yeah, because I've been actually talking the last couple of days about well, just like we said, suffering came up because there's a bunch. I was listening to a bunch of Brian Scott has a YouTube channel, and I was listening to some of his stuff, and he has Neville on there, and I like his voice actually. I like how he talks. He's got this really Brian. Yeah, it's kind of cool. So suffering came up a lot, and this idea that at least I got the impression that it was the narrative was that you come into the physical body to learn about suffering and then ascend out of the body back to spirit, having had a human experience and learning kind of what to do with suffering or how to not overcome it, but accept it, I guess. I don't know. That was kind of the narrative. That's what we started talking about. And then that went to forgiveness.
Yeah, that doesn't resonate with me. Because to me, it's all about perception. So I could go, like when I went through my legal stuff, I could have looked at that as suffering at the hands of an unscrupulous lawyer. Or I could look at that as, oh my God, I learned so much in that experience. Like it was so awesome. It's brought me to an awesome place. And it was like amazing.
Right.
It's a matter of, now, having said that, that's not to say that in the objective world that there appears to be suffering. I don't see it in my immediate reality. So it's all hearsay what I'm hearing from other people, unless they're telling me directly and showing me directly, right? When you hear the news, it's hearsay. And we did a video about this. when you're hearing from other people and not directly involved in the experience, it's hearsay. And Neville talks about this and how it's easy to manipulate people. And I think we can see that's happening right now with some various things that are going on in the media and that sort of thing. But for us, if you're bringing up suffering to me, so you're bringing it in, you're giving it attention, I'm giving it attention in my reality. So I forgive. In my mind, I'm forgiving, you for bringing this up, showing me what's in my consciousness. Everybody is abundant and flowing in their life. Response to that. And that's the only thing I can do.
Yeah.
I can't do anything else for those people but to lift them.
Yes.
Because I don't even know that they exist, first of all. And that's not to sound delusional that they're not there, because I know there's a lot of hearsay out there that says there is. So I'm like, okay, whatever. If it's happening, then no, I forgive them. Whoever shows it to me, I'm forgiving you for, having to show me what's in my consciousness. But everybody in my reality is abundant and flowing in the game of life.
Okay, so I think forgiveness then in that regard feels more like you're able to not have to be vengeful too. Like, because there's a lot of like idea that we can control each other with force, and
everything that you are giving attention to or brought to your attention, you are holding it in your consciousness. It has nothing to do with the other person. In fact, if you can get to the place of making it very impersonal, in that if I say something to you that's bringing it to your attention, well, let's use the example of the suffering. So you brought that to my attention. And so to me, you're not Jane saying it. You're this belief that suffering can exist in my reality. So I don't buy into that anymore. I forgive you at one and go through. I'm not going to go through it again for the fourth time, but the idea is that everything you're shown, what you're experiencing is all part of your consciousness.
Yeah, see, that's
bringing it to your attention because it's your consciousness. Because I may talk to that same person and they'll talk about something different. They may say, oh, look at the sky, how clear it is. Whereas with you, they're like, Jane, oh my God, all the suffering going on. They may talk about something totally different with me because that's not in my consciousness. I don't accept that in my consciousness. Everybody is abundant and flowing in the game of life.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's where a lot of people I notice get hung up,
Yeah.
that how can you say there's not suffering?
Yeah.
And it's like, well, if you're bringing it to my attention, then somewhere in my consciousness it is there. And thanks for bringing that to me, because now I can clear it out. But they don't understand that they can do the same thing.
Right.
And that's the only thing they can do about it. Unless you're a trillionaire that you can give money to, to every homeless person. But then again, we all know that have gone from the lack mentality to one of abundance. If you have a lack mentality and are given $1 million, it doesn't create an abundant mindset.
Yes.
You stay in that mindset, that million will be gone in no time.
Yeah.
So it's like money is not the answer to give
Yeah.
people, but lifting them up because they're in your reality and there's only one, lifting them up, then you're going to benefit them in the only way that you really have any kind of control.
Yes.
Because I can't give money to people. I can't give a home. I don't even know these people.
Yeah.
Nobody in my reality is experienced in any kind of suffering.
Well, and then if you're constantly lifting others up, you all of a sudden are floating on a cloud. Like you're
Yes.
in love.
Because those others represent your beliefs. It has
right.
to do with them.
Yeah.
Like you're the belief in suffering facing me back.
Yeah. It's the
When
opposite
I
of
lift
what.
if I lift that belief to being one of abundance and love and flow and all that sort of stuff, then that it's not there facing, then what's facing me back is abundance and flow and love.
Yes. Yes. Like, and I get in those like mindsets where it's like, oh, I don't have enough of something, like say love. Let's just say love. Oh, I don't have enough love in my life. Like I feel like nobody loves me. Well, if I go about that day and I'm generous and kind and loving towards others, like just say at the grocery store, checking out, uh, being nice to people, reaching out, talking while you're out, all of a sudden my life feels like I have enough of it. Like I feel like
Not because of what happened
no.
outside, because you changed on the inside.
Yes.
So I don't
Yeah.
have enough love in my life. Oh, you know what? No, that's not true. I'm going to be love.
Yes.
Or manifesting that what you are back to you.
And you're lifting other people too, because you're coming from a place of being lifted. And it's amazing. Like I have this little game that I do when I walk past people sometimes, and especially in big cities, people can be really focused on walking or whatever, and I always like smile at them and I always get a smile back, like even when they're in a complete state of not smiling and they look like you wouldn't really want to smile at them. They're usually the people that
Like,
smile the biggest back, but that's
you're
me, right?
imagining them smiling back. That's a manifestation. It's
Okay.
to do with them. It's your manifestation. They're compelled to do it.
Right.
Because you only have your reality.
Yeah.
Everything is your consciousness. Whatever you see is all a part of your consciousness. So when you're smiling at them with the expectation that they're going to smile back, and they give that to you, that's your manifestation.
Yeah, it's a real
anything on the outside, you changed on the inside and it responded to you.
right.
That's just the whole subjective objective thing. I mean, we've talked about this a couple of times.
Yeah, I know.
It's tricky, but you just have to keep at working on the understanding of it. Everything starts within, there's only one.
Yeah. Okay. So maybe like an analogy would be like I want to feel like you're moving with things instead of trying to control things too. Like, does that make sense?
I'm not sure. What
Yeah, like
say is the outside responds to you, you
yeah,
respond to the outside,
right.
which means that if something happened on the outside that you feel like you have to do something to fix it, to
Okay.
something
Yeah.
done, to change something, no. It
Yeah.
change within, and then the outside responds to you.
Yeah. That's the shift. That's the shift from objective to subjective.
Yeah, basically living objectively is me responding to my environment, my
Right.
physical environment, my physical senses, anything happening in my body, anything happening in my neighborhood, my family, all of that sort of stuff. Subjectively is me, what do I want? This is how I want health. I'm healthy. I want a good relationship with my kids. I have a good relationship. As soon as you want it, just accept it
Yeah.
from that place. And then it comes back, it is reflected back to you.
Yes.
Not the other way around. There's no going outside to fix things.
Yes.
Until you change on the inside, you're going to keep getting the same. They're just going to keep reflecting. That belief is going to keep reflecting back to you in one way or another until you get it.
Oh yeah.
So that's probably good for now, right?
Yeah.
Make these shorter, but we get talking. Oh, geez. Anyways, okay. Well, thanks everybody for joining us.
Yeah.
please like and share and comment if you like. And it's been great. And see you later, Jane.
Bye, Gail.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.